Hey, it's a beautiful spring day today, so I thought I'd go outside a little bit, take a break, and kind of explain a little bit about dog training. So this isn't going to be my usual video about politics or doing a satire or something. So if you guys aren't interested in this topic, that's fine. Just some people are asking how you train dogs, or how I did anyway. So specifically, someone was asking me, how do you get your dog to ring the bell to let you know when it needs to go to the restroom? Dino's my dog, and I've trained him so whenever he has to go outside, he rings the bell. So it's nice, it's handy, because they don't bark by the door, they won't wet by the door, they'll ring the bell so you can listen to it. But first I got to discuss some of the basics of dog training and how you shape. Dogs are easy to train naturally. That's how Pavlov used it with the classical conditioning. Dogs are like the dream of classical conditioning. So that's what I'm using, is classical conditioning on dogs. And dogs are pretty smart, and they'll sell their soul for a piece of food. So as long as you have some food, you can really start training them. I think a dog, Dino, he loves me and everything, but if he knew if he could have a hot dog and he'd have to give up his whole life later on, he'd give his life for a hot dog. That's how they are. So anyway, you need some dog training stuff. You can use hot dogs. I'm just using some of this. I have this pepperoni for dogs. He likes that, so I use that as a treat. Clicker training I'm a big fan of. Here's a clicker, and I'll use it in a bit. I don't want to use it now because I've already trained Dino, but all it is a click, and you'll hear it. It only costs like 50 cents. But what that does is it puts out a click, and what that does in a dog's mind is it triggers a response of either fight or flight. It triggers them in their minds. They listen to you. That's why it's better not to use your voice. I rarely use my voice in training. I use a clicker, and then it can start associating. And what you want to do is associate every time you click the dog's going to get a food reward. And pretty soon you can shape their behavior. When they start doing what you want to do, you'll click at that moment. So you specify a target at that very moment. When they do the right thing, you click and they get a reward. And eventually through reputation. Okay, a couple other pointers about dog training I found. You never want to hit your dog. It's not a good thing. It makes a dog hand shy, and you never want to punish a dog, because they really don't associate it anyway with what you're doing. It's fun to treat a dog like a human, but they're really not humans, and they don't understand what they're being hit for. They just become shy and scared of you, and it's a bad thing. So never hit a dog. You just got to reward when they do the proper behavior. And actually, this clicker training is how they even train like big orcas or killer whales. It's a process that works really well. It's a non-violent technique. And you just got to play with your dog when it does a part of the trick that you want, or when it's a complex trick, you got to break it down in pieces and just reward the pieces. And you can't do it too long where they get frustrated. You just want to keep it fun and reward them. So anyway, but then pretty soon they like it. Like, I'll do some now. My dog's over here. I'm going to call my dog to me. Dino, come. Come. And here comes Dino. Sit. Okay, he's going to get a click because he did that right. Remember, the important thing is every time you click, you got to give them a food reward. That's kind of the guarantee you do with a dog. It's a contract with a dog. And now, usually I don't use a clicker because he already knows these tricks, but I'll use them anyway now. So come back here, Dino. Come. Come. See, he's really well trained, and he'll do what I want now. And I can make him do a shake. And I use this hand signal I'm using. Dino, shake. Shake. Just kind of a parlor trick. Shake again. Higher, Dino. Come on. And see, I'm not clicking until he does a good shake. 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 There we go. Sometimes he gets lazy on his shake, so I don't click until I get to the point where I want it. Now, he likes to bark, so I can do a bark on command. And again, it's the same thing. First of all, I have a sight signal I use. I don't use a voice signal. I'm using it with my hands. And once I do this hand gesture, he'll bark immediately. And we'll do another bark in case you missed it. Okay, then I'll click. And he knows, that gets his brain right away, he did the right thing. And he gets his little piece of thing. Now we'll do lay down. Again, this is a nice trick when you want him to go down immediately. And I'm using a hand signal so you can't see it. Okay, so now he's down, and I click. That means he did the right thing, and he gets his little treat. And this is how you get a dog that's well behaved and is not obnoxious like a lot of dogs. So, you're a good doggy, Dino. Yeah, you are. Okay, now I'll show how to, when you want to train your puppy how to ring a bell. And first of all, you just make her get up like this. Let me show you. I just have a string here, and I attach it to a bell. I got this bell off like a Christmas ornament or something, and I just attached it to the bell, and then it hangs down. And you want to up it off the ground depending on how tall your dog is, you know, because it wants to be able to reach up with his paw, and because what he'll do then is he'll do that, and then I know to let him out. So the question is how you do that, and what you do as a puppy, you know, the clicker training I showed, what you'll do is you'll hang down the bell, and normally the dogs will be curious with the bell and they'll nose it or whatever. And immediately when the dog touches the bell, click the clicker like this, and then reward the dog with food. And then pretty soon the dog knows every time, because the dog wants food, it's going to touch the bell every time. And that's good. You want to get to that point, but that point's not really going to help you. That's not the end goal, because your end goal, you don't want him always to ring the bell. You just want him to ring the bell when he has to go to the restroom. So what you do then is you put the bell away, and then you just got to monitor it. Every time you're taking your puppy or dog out to go to the restroom, when you think they have to go, if you see them go to the back door or whatever, then you'll put the bell down, and then they'll ring the bell because they want the food treat. But what you do then is you don't click, you just open the door, and then you keep repeating that, and pretty soon they don't associate ringing the bell with a food treat, they associate it with going outside, and they put that together. And so it's nice, because then, like now, anytime Dino has to go to the restroom, he, instead of barking or making a puddle, he'll just ring the bell, and I let him out. So it kind of impresses people, but it's a really simple trick. All right, so I'll try to get a video of Dino using the bell. It's trickier, though, because you remember, the way I set up the trick is not on command. He does a trick when he needs to go to the restroom, so I kind of got to figure out when he wants to go before I get on video. It's not like I can give a sight signal to tell him to ring the bell. So we'll try to do that here. I'll try to get him when I think he needs to go out. He's going to ring